everybody, how are you? I'm Mitch, just an old guy in a drone. Maybe 2 or 3 drones. Anyway, I'm here to talk about my FPV experiences as a rank beginner, just learning this thing, and I am having just a ton of fun. And I have something that I want to share with you today. So without further ado, let's get rid of the music and get me in the picture there, and let's talk about it. The EMAX Tinyhawk is really becoming one of my favorite drones to learn as a beginner, to learn how to fly on. And when I first got it, I was a little disappointed. It was set up for a real beginner, and it was very slow to react, and it didn't do too well. But thanks to a video of Joshua Bardwell's that I watched, and for those of you who are into FPV and don't know Joshua Bardwell, you're probably in the real minority. But Joshua is just a terrific YouTube channel, and a lot of great how-tos and a lot of great information about everything, especially the technical side of FPV. And I'm actually going to include a link to Joshua's channel in the description of this video, and along with that, a link to one of his videos about something called Project Mockingbird. And Project Mockingbird also has a YouTube channel, so I'm going to provide you a link to that as well. And what Project Mockingbird is a fella who just works on tuning these quads to really make them perform much better than they usually come out of the factory. So I've also put a link to the Project Mockingbird page here. It's a Google document, and this is the version 3 Project Mockingbird for the Tinyhawk, and it gets very, very technical. I'm not going to go over any of the technicalities with you today. If you have one of these little things and you want this thing to fly like a 5-inch race quad with all the modes set up and terrifically responsive, I would absolutely go look at this page. And what I did, not being an expert at all of these beta flight settings, down at the bottom of all this, and I'll get to this in a second, he has what he calls diff, D-I-F-F, all, and the CLI, or the command line interface that you have in beta flight, allows you to put in single line commands which change the settings. So if you just cut and paste everything from here all the way down to the bottom of this and paste it into the CLI interface, like I did, it'll change all the settings immediately. You don't have to go into Betaflight and do them one at a time. And some of the other videos on YouTube actually go through doing this, and I'm not going to get into that detail here, but it's something that I would definitely do if I had one of these Tinyhawks. And one of the things that you do want to do is, before you do that, is you want to copy your current Betaflight settings into a text file in case things don't work out for you. And after I got done doing this, the only one problem that I had was in Betaflight, I had to reverse some of the channels around. Evidently their setup was a little different than the way my radio was set up, but it was very simple, and I got it flying. And the first thing I did was started flying it in angle mode around my house, and I'm going to show you that right now. So let's go into this, and this is actually before. This is a video from before I went ahead and changed the PIDs, and the thing was very slow to react. I really kind of like the way my little Eachine M50 flew better, but it was okay. Then I went to do research and found out, and here's a little video that I did after I went ahead and changed the settings, and you may or may notice some difference here, but these are some of the first flights that I flew with the new settings. So of course I had to get used to it. You'll notice the name of the model is Juicy Hawk, which is what they named it. So that happened to, and when I did change all the settings en masse, all of a sudden Juicy Hawk showed up in my display, and that's how I guess I knew I had the right settings. But it really made the little drone much more precise to control, and I have flown maybe 10 packs through it since I made these changes, and I gotta tell you, it flies like a completely different drone, and it actually flies similar to the closer to the way a 5-inch quad would feel than a little tiny whoop like this. So what I want to do is I want to show you a flight from this morning where I actually took it out and flew it in the air mode, which is something that I'm still, coming to terms with as a new FPV pilot, but got to practice in the acro mode. So I did take it out this morning and flew 5 packs through it. A couple of them the first one in angle mode, and the last few were all in acro mode. This flight here that I'm showing you is one I flew the other day. It was the first time I said, I wonder if I could sit inside my screen porch and fly the drone outside. So I did, and it's going to come around here in a second and fly back into the screen porch. Here we go. Advance it a little bit to where I fly right back in. And the nice thing about these little whoops, this size is they weigh nothing. You can bang them into people. You can bang them into things. You're not going to hurt the things, the people, or the drone itself. So it takes all the nerves out of flying something around with 5-inch props that are like weed whacker blades. Anyway, this next flight that I'm going to show you was from this morning, and you see there it says air, so that's the acro mode, and no stabilization. So now it was either fly the drone or crash it, because there was no help from anything. And that little drone felt just like my Tyro 99 in the air, just as stable, felt just as fast. It's absolutely incredible. So anybody that has one of these little things, I would heartily recommend that you go to the links in my description, follow the Project Mockingbird instructions, watch Joshua Bardwell's video on it, try the mod yourself on your Tinyhawk, and see if you don't agree with me. And worst comes to worst, if you don't, you just paste back all the original settings and you're back to square one. So with that, I'm going to let this run itself out, play a little music, and we will see you next time.